Good morning. So we have a chat going on. We're on 7 platforms worldwide, and we do this every single morning. Okay, and we do it for free. So anyway, we're back on the live, and the live works. And the let's see. Um, okay, there we go. All right, I'm notifying Jay. So Jay is our moderator. Good morning. Good morning, user. Hey, there you are. Okay. Jay is our moderator, and she's our moderator on the chat. So now let's get started. So how do you cure anxiety through your voice? Okay. If you're anxious, okay, if you have anxiety, and this could be, like a variety of ways. Okay. Anxiety is not just about one thing. Anxiety is that small undercurrent of fear. Okay, if you have a small undercurrent of anger, that's called resentment. Okay, that's called resentment. But anxiety is a little bit different. Okay, when you're anxious, okay, because anxiety, now we know that anxiety starts in children, and we know how it starts. Okay, it starts with tablets, it starts with screen time, it starts on laptops. We're talking about anxiety. We're talking about how the voice cures anxiety, how it heals anxiety. Okay, so our definition, and we make no medical terms, we have to say that as a disclosure, okay, also as a disclaimer, we have to say that. But yeah, so we're waiting on Jay on this side, but she'll be here. So anyway, now the voice heals because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, okay, which calms your body and mind. Now, Sarah here on the chat, Sarah is one of my clients, and I have several of my clients that join us on the chat, okay, and people that have been clients as well. So, Dakota, are you here? I think you were here earlier. I hope you're still here. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So this works because your parasympathetic nervous system stores anxiety. It stores fear. Okay. Now, anxiety is just a little undercurrent of fear, and it's nothing major, but it does get in the way. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about how it prevents manifestation. Doubt and fear prevent manifestation. Okay. So let's say, for example, you want to go out and be sociable, and let's say for whatever reason you figure, that's okay, it's too much trouble. Okay. Then there's probably a little fear there. There's probably a little something going on there. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, you're angry about something, and it's just a small undercurrent of anger. Okay. That's not necessarily fear, although it is part of it. Okay. But that's resentment. Okay. When you're just a little angry about something and it surfaces every once in a while. Okay. When you're anxious, okay, it's fear. Okay, and it surfaces when it gets triggered. So sometimes, good morning, guys. Good morning, Rachel. Nurse Cole, good morning. So the human voice cures this, okay? And I want to say heal rather than cure, because it does come back. So curing implies that it won't come back. Healing implies that it goes away, and that's actually what it does. Good morning, Carmen. Good morning, Lovey. Good morning, Jennifer. Hey, Lupita. Hey, Lilac. So yeah, we want to welcome you guys and let you guys know. So how does this do it? It stimulates the vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve. It comes down through the throat chakra, goes into your heart chakra, and then kind of fans out into your intestines, into the lower part of your body. Okay. Why is that important? Well, it helps take the body out and shift the body out of fear, okay, and into a relaxed state. So relaxation is the opposite, okay? Relaxation is, we can call relaxation confidence, okay? Confidence is a relaxed, centered, grounded feeling, okay? And that's what it is. So when you become, let's say, clear, okay, let's say in the absence of anxiety, you become confident. It's automatic. Globe Traveler, good morning. Nice to see you again. Good morning. So how does this process work? Well, here's what you can do, okay? You can express one tone. It doesn't matter what the tone is, okay? Because you won't have me as a guide if you do it by yourself. But you can do it by yourself. You just have to make sure that tone is strong, okay? So we have two exercises that we do with our clients. One of them builds their diaphragm, and the other one builds their pharyngeal group, these muscles. Okay? That when you squeeze like that, okay? Because what happens is when these muscles have more elasticity to them, they squeeze more thoroughly, okay? And when the diaphragm pushes up a larger quantity of air faster, and these muscles control it with the tone, right? What happens is your neurotransmitters activate and fire oxytocin and endorphins. And when that happens, those hormones start to calm you, okay? And over a series of, let's say, why do you always wear blue? I don't always wear blue, but I'm wearing blue today, Kevin. Welcome. So, anyway, so when you go through this process, what happens is there's a lot of pressure applied, and that pressure is necessary to fire more hormones through your neurotransmitters, okay? And like I said, I've been doing this for 37 years. It's never failed anyone. No one has ever failed at this. And after they, go through this process, anxiety is it not only they not only heal from the anxiety, but they have a handle on it. They have what I call the switch. So when something starts to make them anxious, they can turn it off, okay? Good morning, guys. Good morning, Romana. Good morning, Gracious. So it's nice to have that switch because you want to be able to ignore it. You want to be able to say, okay, no, I'm not going to do that, okay? But it's very difficult when your subconscious has already memorized this program, okay? So it has to do with your subconscious as well. So we don't just, treat, let's say, the muscles itself and do the tone. And no, this is a well-rounded holistic program. So what we do is we observe the 4 pillars: affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. The vocalization is what we're talking about today. Okay, so we're talking about the vocalization process and how it eliminates fear and anxiety. Okay, mostly anxiety, because anxiety, the root of all negative emotions is fear. Okay, what else does it do? Well, when you start projecting your voice like this, it allows you to slow down and deepen your breathing. Okay, if you're doing shallow breathing, most of us breathe shallow during the day, right? Just be mindful of breathing deeper. Take deep breaths, okay? Not just when you get afraid, but practice breathing more overall, because you'll infuse your body with more oxygen. You'll take in more oxygen, and that's important, okay? It also lowers your heart rate, okay? And reduces the production of stress hormones. So while it increases your oxytocin and endorphins, it decreases your cortisol. It decreases your adrenaline, or your need for adrenaline, okay? And it increases your serotonin levels. So all of these things begin to happen. All of these things begin to happen when you start expressing these tones through your voice, okay? I kind of want to go through a lot of this first, and then we'll talk about other things. Now, it also releases emotional tension, okay? And this is stored in the body, okay? And this happens through vocal vibration. So we're talking about your parasympathetic nervous system. It stores these things, okay? Your subconscious stores the memory, okay? So all cells in the human body have memory, okay? So, you may not have seen your great grandfather, but you may be wearing his nose. You might look like him, see? Okay? So the eyes are the mirrors of the soul. The voice is the mirror of the feelings and emotions. Okay, now the sound is working. What other types of breathing are there? There's clavicular breathing, which most people do. So yeah, let me address the breathing. Let me get through this first. Okay, so it relaxes the muscles in your throat and your chest. Okay, so first of all, it relaxes and then opens your throat chakra. Okay, chakras are just energy centers in the body. Okay. A lot of people, say, oh, well, they don't understand what it is, and they kind of, what? I haven't heard that before. But look it up. It's a thing, okay? When you open your throat chakra, or when we push it open, okay, we do it through energy, and the energy increases. Okay, so let's say by the third session, your energy is really good because now you're getting used to it. Okay, the subconscious learns in repetition, and when you do this with your voice, what happens? Oh, your voice gets stronger. How does that work? Well, we're strengthening your diaphragm first. Okay, that's the breathing, the panting exercise we have. And that breathing affects the frontal lobe of your brain, which makes you more open because it slows down your thinking. Okay? So it relaxes. Now you relax the muscles in your chest, okay, in your throat, in your chest, and diaphragm. And this improves breathing, the flow of breathing, allows you to do deep breathing, okay, and more physical relaxation, because when you breathe deeper, okay, you relax more. Okay, I'm trying to whip through this, you guys, so we get through all of this first. It improves mental clarity and focus. I made notes today, by the way, by calming the nervous system, okay, parasympathetic nervous system again. Builds confidence as the voice becomes stronger and more expressive. So as your voice gets stronger, you increase the vibration, okay? So think energy, frequency, vibration, and velocity. Good morning, Manuel. Good morning. There you are, Janice. Sorry, we had to restart here. So energy, frequency, vibration, and velocity, the things that Nikola Tesla said were important to consider if you want to understand the universe better. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay? Now, you are a vibrational being, whether you realize it or not, whether you have been told that or not, or, but you are. So nothing is static in the universe, and nothing is static in the human being. Your cells are constantly moving and vibrating every day, 365 days a year, okay? And you evolve, okay? Now, when things are making you scared, when things are fearful, when you have anxiety, okay, not only are your cells affected, okay, because they're affected as well, okay, but you also kind of slow down on your life path, okay? If somebody can make you fearful, okay, if somebody can keep you in fear, okay, whether it's a bully, whether it's a spouse that's abusive, whatever it is, okay, or somebody at work that threatens you, or does bad stuff to you like that, okay, whatever that negativity or fear comes from, okay, if somebody can do that to you, they can control your life path, okay? And I don't mean control it as in direct it. I mean they can control you because they can slow down your life path and inhibit your process. Okay, so if you're with a toxic, that's why they call it a toxic relationship. If you're in a toxic relationship, you need to get out. Okay, and I can't even tell you how many people came to me, number one, to get out of toxic relationships, and number two, to after they break up from a toxic relationship, to recover. Okay, I've had a lot of people who've recovered from narcissists. Amen, brother. Amen. Praise the Lord, Yeshua and Father. But yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I can't tell you how many people, and I've had many women that are recuperating from narcissists, and it's terrible. Okay, but after 12 weeks, guess what? They're stronger. One woman who actually went through this, she's still with me after 4 years. She sees me once a week. For a while, we were doing 4 times a week, and that was to pull her out of burnout. So she's a nurse, and she was also burnt out, so she had to stay home from work for like a month. And so we increased the sessions, and she did 4 times a week for a while. And then we pulled her out of burnout. She's never been back. And I still ask her. So my 2 questions that I ask my clients all the time. So number 1, how's your stress level? Number 2, how's your triggers? Because it cures all of this, okay? Or let's say heals all of this. We could say that. In her case, it cured because it never came back, okay? And she says, oh, I have regular stress, but no, it doesn't affect me anymore. And this is all through her voice, okay? She did this through her voice. And this is not, I need to mention, this is not about singing Although if you're a singer, if you can sing, okay, then you have an advantage in the way that you just need to sing songs and sing them very, very strong. Okay? But I must tell you that in our program, we also go through solfeggio tones. There's solfeggio tones as that are a part of our program. Okay, and those are sacred tones. You can look it up, and I'm not gonna go into that today, but we will cover that. Maybe one day this week we'll get into that. Okay, slowing down your life path makes perfect sense. Yeah, it does. It slows your life path down because of fear. Okay, so let me give you a visual. Your life path unfolds like this from within. Okay, the kingdom is within. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. So your life path unfolds like this. Life happens for you. It doesn't happen to you like this. This is victim mentality. Okay, you're not here to dodge bullets. You're here to live a productive life. Okay, but when you are in fear or doubt, okay, that includes doubting yourself. That includes doubting your work. That includes doubting whether or not, whatever will happen for you or whatever. Okay, any form of doubt. Okay, that includes low self-esteem. Okay, low self-pride, no pride in yourself. What some people are like that. But all of these things add up. Okay, and when these things are happening, and when you feel, the key word is feel. When you feel like this, it goes into your subconscious. Then your subconscious starts to repeat these things. And as a result, you get more hesitant. Okay, so hesitation is rooted in fear. Procrastination is rooted in fear. Are you putting something off? If you're putting something off and go, nah, you're avoiding, okay? Avoiding is rooted in fear. There's something about what you're putting off that is unpleasant. Okay, there's something about what you're putting off. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Vincent. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Green African family. There's something about what you're putting off that you're afraid of. Okay? If you're hesitating with something, if you're procrastinating, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow you go, nah, I'll put it off to the end of the week. Nah, I'll do it. There's something there, okay? There's an issue. I'm just saying. And it's not conscious, it's normally subconscious because you're putting it off, but you're not consciously aware of what it is that you're afraid of about that thing or concerning that thing. Okay? So just know that this is subconscious. So a lot of our subconscious activity, 95% of our life is subconscious. A lot of our subconscious activity, we're not even aware of. Okay? We're not aware of the why. Why are we doing this? Why am I afraid of this? Why don't I want to go through with this? That kind of thing, okay? So what else does a voice do with anxiety? How else does it affect you? It improves mental clarity, okay? And when I say mental clarity, I mean clear. It makes you clear. Okay, so when you're done with our exercises, okay, I actually feel excited by life now rather than fearful. Hey, that's my client, Sarah, right there. Good, Sarah, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so happy so happy that you're grounded now. Sarah's been working with me for I want to say this is her third month. This is her last month, so it's a 12-week program. Okay, and she's done at the end of. She's in the United Kingdom, so I work with people from all over the world, and we solve anxiety. Okay, we solve the problem. So your voice treats the cause. Okay, it doesn't treat the symptom. Okay, it doesn't treat the trigger. It treats the source. Okay, because there is a source and it's stored in your parasympathetic, that's a big word, parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so it's, every time I gotta say that, I was like, oh, there's so many syllables. Anyway, but it's stored in your nervous system. Okay, and it's stored there until you get it out, and your voice gets it out. Why? Because it breaks it up through frequency. Okay, as well as the hormones triggering, so oxytocin, endorphins. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing, Sarah. We appreciate that. Okay, and this is why it releases emotional tension. Okay, because the eyes are the mirrors of the soul, the voice is the mirror of the feelings and emotions. If you listen and pay attention to the way people talk, Okay, the rhythm of what they say, the timing of the way they talk. Okay, um, the relaxed tone or not, or hyper tone about a person. You could tell a lot about a person if you know how to read a pair of eyes. Okay, are their pupils pinpointed? Are they like, you know, are they full of energy like that, or are they relaxed? Okay, are they dove's eyes? Okay, are they happy eyes? But when you know how to read eyes and listen to a voice, you could tell a lot about people, and you can just, yeah. So when people come to me, they're very, um, I want to say, nervous. Okay, they have a lot of anxiety. When you have anxiety, you're not relaxed. You're just not. You're on alert. Okay, and this is what this heals. This is the healing process of what this does. So let's see what else. So mental clarity. Okay, when you calm the nervous system, mental clarity starts to happen. Okay, when you start to push this vibration out through your voice and it affects the hormones, your neurotransmitters start firing oxytocin and endorphins, and it floods your brain. It starts making you feel good. So when you're done with the exercise, which we do like 3 rounds in an hour, this is designed to pull you out. Okay, this is designed to pull you out of anxiety. And when you do this for an hour, it's like you went through a workout. You feel the same way. It's the same thing, but it's not lifting weights. Okay, I did that this morning at 3 o'clock. It's not like lifting weights. Okay, it's the same effect, but it's pushing energy through the muscles, okay, of your voice. And the stronger you get, the more your neurotransmitters secrete. Okay, the more hormones it secretes. So it builds confidence. You build confidence as your voice becomes stronger. Now I have a singing company as well. Okay, I have a singing business. It's called Voicemaster Vocal Development. We've been in business since 1989, 37 years. Okay, but in 2010 we created this company, Here for You Life Coaching. Okay, and we created this because we did the research in 2007, and we went down the rabbit hole for like 2 years, actually 2.5 years, and we went down the rabbit hole and found out why this is happening. Your eyes can tell a lot about oneself. Yeah, the eyes are the mirrors of the soul. Look at the eyes. Are they calm? Are they creepy? Women know all about that. If you are you a guy? You must be a guy. Are you a guy? Women know instinctively. So yeah, user because you don't have a profile, so I can't see. Sorry. Anyway, so the thing that was happening with the singers was they were getting so confident. My little kids were like puffing their chest out, was doing all that kind of stuff. And then I found out through my research that, oh, there is such a thing as somatic healing. Now, the studies were done in the 40s, right? But nobody's talking about this. You know why nobody's talking about this? Same reason why nobody gets to invent a car that works with water. Okay, those guys disappear. Okay, I'm not going to disappear because not very many people know about me, and the only people that know are the people that watch these lives. Okay, but your voice can heal. Okay, emotionally, because the voice is the mirror of the feelings, emotion, and emotions. It works both ways. When you express through the voice, it also heals your emotions. Okay, so and this is why women, when you guys get frustrated, right? Emotional frustration, you cry, you have a good cry, right? And all that energy comes out, and then you feel brand new, right? Okay, so this is almost the same, only we push a lot of energy through the voice. So it's a workout. It's like you're really tired, and your muscles go into fatigue towards the end. Okay, because we do an hour. So it's 1 hour once a week, 12 weeks, new person. Let's see. So emotional balance. Okay, so the emotional balance happens by allowing your feelings to be expressed. You put yourself in emotional balance. The people that are out of emotional balance are going like this. They're like this. Okay, when people come to me, my clients are generally like this. Okay, now I deal mostly with professionals, doctors, attorneys, CEOs, business people, managers, that kind of thing. and they don't realize that they're suffering from high performance anxiety. Okay, so anxiety, there's many forms to anxiety. High performance anxiety, and I say this almost every day, high performance anxiety looks exactly like motivation. And we, the everyday guy, right, looks at the CEOs and, all these business people, and we go, oh, he's motivated. Oh, wow, he's slaying the dragon. He's doing all of that, all of that stuff, right? And then, you know, uh, how can you tell the difference, right? Well, a skilled eye or a professional or someone like me knows, okay? Because they're running. Inside, they're running. Because inside, they're being driven by fear, okay? And that's high performance anxiety. I'll give you a couple. How do you stay positive with the whole war thing? I'm not worried about the war. Unstable economy and small job opportunities. Okay, so this is why I'm doing this, Mars. This is why I'm doing this more often. Like, I'm addressing anxiety more so that people can come through their voice. This is what I do. I've done this for a living. You can look me up. Put my name in any browser, and you can look at the lives. You can look at the websites. Okay, it's here for you, lifecoaching.com. And I heal anxiety through the human voice. I've been doing this for 37 years. So yeah, you do it through your voice. And it's a series of exercises. It takes 12 weeks, and anxiety is manageable. So this is a holistic process. This is not just about your voice. Okay, it's about affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Your voice breaks you out of anxiety. Okay, the affirmations that you write. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident. Thank you. That's an example. Okay, I tailor make based upon the goals of my clients. Okay, I tailor make the affirmation for them. Okay, but it depends on what they're working on, because affirmations go directly into your subconscious. Okay, Mars, you can ask me more questions. Feel free to ask me questions. Okay, but your affirmations go directly into your subconscious because you're writing. Okay, I know there's a lot of people out there who are making manifestation out to be some kind of mystical thing. Okay, it's not. It's your subconscious. Okay, but some of them tell you to type it in your phone like this, right? Do your affirmations or speak it alone, and you can speak it. You can speak things into existence. I was just telling Jay that I spoke something into existence. See, a lot of times we speak things into existence, but we're not aware because we don't make the connection when it happens. Okay? And I'm not going to go into what it was, but yeah, I speak things into existence once in a while. And when you speak it in with emotion, okay, it goes into the subconscious faster. Okay? So use emotion when you do it. Use emotion when you're trying to get something into your subconscious to repeat as a pattern. And you have to do it in repetition, okay? So it takes 66 days. This is why not everybody makes it. This is why the majority of people fail. The majority of people fail at this because it takes 66 days. After 66 days, you don't have to put effort into this. You're going to want to do it. Why? Because it becomes a positive habit, okay? Mars, if you're still here, Mars, you can ask me questions. So anyway, so what else does this do? Well, emotional balance. How does this work? Emotional balance works when you start expressing yourself. So my clients become more open. Okay, they open up like this. Okay, this is the visual that I have, like this, right? They open up, or like this. First they relax, because this is a process of relaxation, part of it, and then they begin to open. Part of it's relaxation, part of it's frequency, part of it's energy, parts of it are vibration, okay? But they're all these things, and all of these things happen through your voice. But the voice just breaks you out of it. The vocalization breaks you out of it. There's 3 other pillars. Now, that was the affirmation part, okay? So the meditation part, do you need to say some sort of mantra? You can, and it's good for your subconscious, but that's how it works, okay? It works through your subconscious. You know, if you want to do Om, it's frequency, okay? And it will help to some degree. but we push frequency hard. Okay, hard tones. So hard tones are a little bit different, and it works a lot faster. Okay, if you're just humming, because when you look up somatic healing, it'll say, well, it's just humming or singing or chanting, that kind of thing through your voice. Yeah, you can do it that way. It takes much, much longer. Okay, but how we do it is we do it with very, very energetic tones, strong tones. We call it velocity. Okay, so it's energy, frequency, vibration, and velocity. Velocity, but it gets rid of anxiety. Okay, it gets rid of anxiety very, very quickly. Now, some people don't mind taking medicine. Some people don't mind doing all those trips to the doctor and stuff, and that's cool. Okay, but if you're tired of that, if you're tired of just constantly having this underlying fear that's keeping you from stuff, because it is, whether you believe it or not, or you are aware of it or not, then yeah, you can fix it through your voice. Can you read my comments on my photo in my profile? No, I don't think so, Illuminati, but thank you. Okay, Jay, there's another one. Okay. So emotional balance is when you can express yourself, right? Okay? Because you feel the emotions inside, and if you're upset on the inside and you cannot express it on the outside, guess what happens? Suppression. Okay, and that's not a very you're a psychology student about to graduate, you feel anxious about job opportunities, what should I do? Hmm. Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Okay, because all learning is mental, spiritual, and physical. This is what I'm talking about, is spiritual. It's the energy in here. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're that spirit that lives in here. Okay, so if you want to stay grounded, okay, like Sarah, maybe you weren't here when Sarah Sarah maybe you weren't here when Sarah was talking about her experience with me. She's my client in the UK. uh, she's grounded now. She's more grounded in her emotions. And if you're anxious, then you're not grounded, because if you're anxious, you're feeling just a little undercurrent of fear. Okay, and if that's happening, then you need to express through your voice, but you also need the other four components. Okay, the four pillars. Vocalization is just that one. Now the meditation, how does that work? What does it do? Like that. Okay, so the meditation is just being still. Okay, you don't have to say a fancy mantra that you don't understand. You don't have to do anything like that. Okay, but you can ask, and your intuition will get sharper, and you will get the intuitive answer. Okay, so what am I talking about? Well, if you're anxious, this becomes very difficult to do. Okay, if you're suffering from anxiety, this is very difficult to do. Okay, so when you get that intuitive thought, it's a feeling. You get that intuitive thought that you should turn right over here. You're driving, right? But you have your left brain is responsible for logic, okay? And your ego is also on the left, by the way, just a side note, okay? And your left brain goes, no, that's okay, pass. And you continue down the street, and then you get stuck in the traffic jam. What do you say? You go, I knew I should have turned. Because you did know. Okay, when you do meditation, and it takes about, I want to say 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks. You don't need to do an hour or anything crazy like that. Okay, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes if you really want to. Okay, but 10 to 15 minutes a day, and your intuition will get sharper. Okay, what happens when that happens? Okay, when your intuition gets sharper, you get the correct information. It's instinctual. Okay, you see animals, right? Animals rely on their instincts, right? When there's a predator, when there's danger, when there's whatever, okay, you see them react. Humans are the same way. But because of modernization, because of everything that we have, and this has been going on since the industrial age, we have learned, we have been conditioned into trusting only what we see. Okay, we've been directed away from what we feel. Okay, because if you can see it, it's logical, right? If you can feel it, you question it. Okay? Doubt and fear. That's doubt. It'll keep you from your manifestation. Okay? So there's affirmations, meditation. So meditation makes that voice stronger. And follow that voice and your life will change. I promise you. Okay? I promise you. Vocalization. Okay, we talked about that. Now, visualization. What's the visualization process? Well, first of all, you have to see yourself worthy. Okay? Of whatever it is. Whatever it is you want, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, whether you're like Mars and you're in college and he's going to get a psychology degree, so he knows about the things that I'm talking about. Okay? But if you're like that, okay, and you're working on something like that, and you want to accomplish something, you have a goal, you're working towards your goal. It's mental, spiritual, and physical. Okay? So your visualization part is your imagination. It's your right brain. Okay? People that lean to the left, they're left brain dominant. Okay? These are people that are trained in science. These are people that have a lot of education. Okay? Now, education is good for things, right? But let's be honest, most of the things you're educated with, you never use in the real world, okay? It just sits there, okay? And somebody, some people tell me all the time, they go, oh, well, education is important. Yeah, it's important if you need it for the job that you're doing, okay? Or if you need it to get in somewhere. But after you get in, you don't use it anymore, okay? So when it comes to power, it's not knowledge is power, it's the application of knowledge that's power. You have to apply it. If you cannot apply what you've learned, you're powerless. Okay, it doesn't produce any power. It doesn't give you an advantage is what I'm saying. It's useless. And you've done all that time and you've spent all that money. Okay? For what? Okay? But you need to get in the door, right? So you got to get the degree, so there's steps to things. There's processes. Doing the process does pull you out of yourself. Yeah. So that's my client Janice in Colorado. But she was my client. And she went through Janice went through 8 weeks. She did it in 8 weeks. Yes, it is true. Is internal work sufficient for social change in America? For the state of your union, absolutely. If more people did internal work, absolutely. But that's not the case. And like I was saying earlier, when you keep a population in fear or you keep a person in fear, their life path slows down. And there are entities out there that purposely keep everybody in fear. Okay, there's the news media for one. Okay, they keep misrepresenting things to people. Let's put it that way. Let's be kind. Okay. All information is free online. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But you don't find this information online because we haven't found it online. But the research is online, and we have all that information on our website. They are harvested. Yes, they are. Yep. Big Bank Hank. Big Bank Hank. All right. So anyway, okay. But if you're suffering from anxiety, okay, your voice will pull you out, bottom line, okay? But the visualization process, getting back to that for a second, okay? The visualization process is you have to see yourself worthy, and you have to see yourself there, wherever your goal is, whatever your goal is. When I was 12 years old, I was visualizing standing on a stage and doing my shows and doing all kinds of stuff like that, right? Now, I did not know I was going to end up as a teacher. Okay, that didn't happen until 1989. Okay, but I started out in life doing the lounges and doing stuff like that, right? Because that was my dream. And I had to follow my heart. Okay, and I was told, oh, you need to go to school to be an attorney. Like, my mom wanted me to be an attorney, bless her heart. Okay, but I didn't want any part of that. Okay, and now, right, I work with professionals that went into their fields because it made money and they're miserable and they're looking They're looking for a reprieve. They're looking for a way to manage it so that it's bearable. Okay? And we give them affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Okay? It's visualization plus the effort. It's visualization first. Yeah. Pay attention, Hank. Pay attention. So the visualization is you have to be able to, number one, okay, see yourself there, right? And see yourself worthy. Okay, so now part of the see yourself there, okay, we use vision boards. Vision boards are very important for your subconscious, okay? Because your subconscious, once it believes that you're targeting something, once it believes that you're on track for something, okay, or focused on something, and we're talking about applied focus, okay? But once it believes that you're doing this, it will start to create avenues towards it, okay? So it will help you. And like Hank was saying, effort is necessary. So, well, sometimes there's two kinds of effort, though. Okay, Hank, I don't know if you know this. I hope you know this. So there's two kinds of effort. Okay, one type of effort is thought. Okay, because you have to think. Okay, and visualization is an effort. Affirmation is an effort. Okay, I have to put effort into my hand to write the affirmation. Okay, but the other type of effort is physical effort. When you step towards things, when you go to job interviews, when you pursue things or people, doesn't matter, whatever. Are you pursuing a relationship? Maybe you're pursuing a female or a male, whatever, guy, girl, whatever. Okay, so that's physical effort. Now, most people think that they need to perform some kind of physical effort. Okay, and in that process, sometimes they get stuck on the hows. And I gotta tell you, the how is always God's job. Okay, the how is God's job. Don't try to figure out how you're gonna get something. Just select the target and focus on it. And then affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. That's it. Okay, now the vocalization just pulls people out. Okay, it calms, because when you're calm, guess what? You make better decisions. When you make better decisions, what happens? Better results. Okay, so if we look at the subconscious tree, okay, the roots of the tree, your subconscious core beliefs. It forms your paradigm, which is the trunk of the tree. The fruits of the tree are affected by the way you see the world, your worldview, your paradigm. And they're your actions. And those fruits, right? We always hear that, we hear that spiritually, right? You will know them by their fruits. It's in the Bible. Okay, you will know them by their fruits. The fruits or actions turn into results. And you can create random actions and get random results. But if you want lasting results, if you want a lifestyle change, in other words, you don't like the way you're living anymore, because some people get a few gains and then they get losses again, and a few gains and then losses again. If they want stability, if they want something that lasts, if they want change that serves them, rather than temporary 1 or 2 wins here and there kind of thing, then it has to be subconscious. Okay, and that's impossible if you're suffering from anxiety. So when we first started the vocalization exercise, it was for my other company, Voicemaster Vocal Development. And now we do that online as well. And we teach that online worldwide as well. Okay, but we started there, and then I did the research because I saw like little kids, small little kids, puffing their chest out, like exhibiting extreme confidence. And the parents would come back and tell me, oh, they joined, she's really expressive now, like these shy little girls. She's really expressive now. She goes out, she's joining social clubs in school. She's part of this club, that club, whatever club, that kind of thing. Okay, this is that emotional balance I'm talking about. Okay, when you express rather than keep it all in here like this. Okay, when you keep to yourself, okay, when you hide in here, this is a good place to hide. Okay, a lot of people hide in here their whole lives. Okay, but when you hide in here, okay, guess what happens? You get comfortable in here because it becomes subconscious. Okay, and you don't know, or let's say you haven't experienced what it's like to come out. And so you're just staying here, but you see others that come out and you go, wow, I wish I was like him. I wish I was like her, that kind of thing, right? So, so yeah, if you're suffering from anxiety, how many people here are suffering from anxiety? I'm just curious. Just put it up on the put it up on the chat. So anyway, and then I have an offer for you guys too. So we have a in fact we have a special that we're only going to run this week. This is Monday. Thank you, Jesus Forever. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah. So we're going to run a special for you guys. It's going to come soon to Facebook and our other platforms, but right now only these guys over here. But yeah. So anyway, and I've got to run. I have clients today, but I just wanted to share this with you at how the voice gets rid of anxiety. Okay, it breaks you free from that cycle. Okay, that repetitive cycle which is produced by your subconscious. And once you get, once you separate from it, it's very easy to do the affirmations, and the affirmations start working. Okay, because there's no negative program leading you in circles. The subconscious will wash, rinse, repeat something. Okay, and you need to change that program, but you need to be pulled out first, and then you need to do affirmations, meditation, and visualization along with the vocalization. So, all right, you guys. So till tomorrow, we'll see you guys. We do this every morning at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. And I'm Junior from Here For You Life Coaching. Our website is hereforyoulifecoaching.com. You can see the website. The links, the research links are all there. We put them there. They are medical research links. Okay, they're what we call white papers. White papers are scientific medical research, and we put it up for everybody so you guys can see that this is like real stuff. This is not woo-woo and whatever. But I will say that Jesus Christ said that the kingdom is within. Okay? In here, you have the power to do anything. You have the power to change anything in your life. Okay? Because you're not your body, you're not your name, you're that spirit that lives in here. Okay? You have more power than you think.